Um, yeah, but,
Yeah. So we talked about the rake of the mast. Is that also not affected then compared to the old sail? You basically.
it is a little bit. In the early days, we played with that sort of a lot. With the thought of putting it backwards and forwards, there was arguments for both directions. We found that putting the mast back, probably a hole on the forestay, which is not that far, generally balanced the boat up a little bit nicer.
So leaning the mast a little bit more backwards compared to the old sailor.
Yeah, and that came a little bit from, I think, because effectively what you're doing is you're cutting the leech of the sail off, and you're putting the center of pressure a little bit further forwards. The boat just became a little bit pressure bow forwards. So putting the mast rake back tended to balance it up a little bit. I never liked doing that because it tended to make the boat a little bit draggy in the back end, and it's sort of a bit harder to get the bows down and go fast. So it was something that I never liked doing. And then when we put the centerboards further forwards, we made that big change. We could stand the mast back up to sort of where it was. So it was sort of a bit of a circle. And if I'm being critically honest, it didn't really make that much of a difference moving it in either direction. You just sort of balance it a little bit to how the boat feels in terms of boat trim.
Yeah. Okay, but then we will play around with that. But we will try to. We start off with the same rake as usual and see if we lean it back a little bit and play with that. But it makes sense. Very good. And otherwise, I think my crewmate Eric, he and me too, finds it a little bit tricky to know how hard to sheet, because the old sheet, I don't know, we were so used to it. So I guess it was just the distance between the boom and everything that we saw that this is the right sheeting. But now we kind of lose it a little bit since. So do you have any tips there?
All of the references are gone. You don't have the blocks, the height of the block. A little bit of practice, obviously. What we do on our boats, or on all the new boats where the Cunningham strip is, and you've got the number strip, we actually do a little stitch in there that's a different color. So you've got a Cunningham reference, because originally we just had to get in there with a pen and mark it. So creating a few references like that's important. But really, look, it's just practice, and sort of if the boat doesn't feel right, just sheet on more and just obviously look at this. The leech is going to be your big telltale. If the leech is open, you sheet on more. If the leech is too close, you open it up a little bit. With the deck sweepers, they've got a much straighter leech. There's not as much roach in the sail. So what you'll find is that your sheet movement will have more effect on the twist characteristics of the sail. It'll be more responsive. So, and it won't be a huge amount, but it will be something that Eric will notice. So where you might have been sheeting maybe, let's call it 300 millimeters, what's going to happen is you might be sheeting 200 millimeters now to have that same opening and closing effect on the leech of the sail.
Okay.
So that'll be a little thing that he'll have to get his hands around.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, we also have this new sheeting system with the Harken kind of carbon fiber, and I think it's an extra.
You've got the GC.
Exactly. So everything is new there. So I think we have to get used to that, but it feels good. So it's just we have to find the gears and know how to sheet in different conditions, because that used to be one of our strong sides, is that Eric knew we could very, very fast shift from 5 knots to 15 knots winds. We could easily find the gear, and now we have to. It takes a minute before we get up to speed or so. So that's our.
Well, I would definitely recommend if you're having some trouble or not finding the gear like you'd like to, go back to the old main sheet blocks if you can borrow some off somebody, and just get the feeling back and rely on that old instinctive muscle feeling, because I've used the GP block as well, and we trialled it before a Worlds, and we actually took it off the boat for the Worlds, not because it was bad, but it was just something else we had to get used to before the event.
Yeah.
No, it's actually too different. We'll just throw it away.
I think we like the new one so much, so that, and we are in it for the long haul. So I guess we will try to get used to the new one. But but that makes sense. And then
other thing that will happen on the sheeting side of things, the boats going to with the deck sweepers, the boats tend to accelerate before they heel, whereas a traditional boat will heel and then then the boat will accelerate. So your indicator to sheeting is a little bit more off acceleration as opposed to boat heel. In the past, we always coach people to trim to the boat heel. Whereas luckily now you get a little bit more of an indicator to how the boat's going to heel based on the acceleration. So because
the pressure point is a bit lower on this sail. Is that
correct? It's actually significantly lower. So the boat will shoot forwards and then start to heel. And you'll probably find that when you get hit by a gust, his amount that he has to ease will be less. Because it's accelerating and doesn't have that same healing moment.
Yeah, we already found that was a big difference in feeling that when we were out and it was really gusty on Tuesday training here, and I mean he said that it's so nice, it behaves so nicely, and I guess that was actually the thing. It was accelerating instead of healing when the gust came. Yeah, so that was really nice. So it feels fast.
Good.
Yeah.
That's the first step.
Yeah, I think that's the questions I had, and we are super happy and looking forward to the championships starting tomorrow. So it will be great fun.
Yeah. So is it the national championships that you have?
Yeah, it's the national championships, and this year it's not an open one, so it's only for Swedish boats, and there are a little bit fewer than usual. So we are 12 boats, but they are from all parts of Sweden. And as I said, it's going to be rainy, gusty, and a bit cold, so like 15 degrees, but at least wind, so that will be good.
It's going to be exactly the same here tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, but you are going towards warmer weather, and we are going in the other direction. So.
Yeah. Last but not least, on setting up your or trimming, you might find, compared to a traditional sail, you want to sheet your jib. We found sheeting out and sheeting it really hard. What did you do? Did we sheet? So I'm going to have to try and think. I think we sheeted low and really, really hard. Tended to work. And had the sail quite out. Seemed to be an effective way of sheeting the jib. It kind of seemed counterintuitive to what we were trying to get the jib to do, but it worked.
So I'm not sure in the up when you go upwind.
Yeah, upwind, because I think that the mainsail is quite round in the bottom. That when the jib comes into it, if you sheet it in, as in the jib track in, it closes up the slot a little bit, and when you're looking at the mast and the jib, if you set it to where you think it should be for like a traditional sail, you end up backwinding onto your mainsail a bit because the main's much deeper in that bottom area around that window.
Okay. But do you mean the traveler should be more out, or that the sheeting should be a little looser?
No, the traveler should be a little bit looser so that the jib goes a little bit further out the track. And it's not much. It's not much. It's probably only 50 millimeters.
Okay.
Yeah. Or 50 millimeters is a lot, but yeah. And to compensate that, you end up sheeting the jib quite hard. So
makes sense.
On my boats, we've actually put an extra purchase on the jib. Not because we need it, but just because we were pulling it to this amount of force and we're never getting it hard enough. So we put the extra purchase on there so that we pulled it to the same amount of force, and obviously it just added that sort of 30% of extra to it.
We had that on our last boat that we sold, so now it's actually harder to sheet the jib. So we have that to get used to as well, but maybe we'll do as you say. We put in an extra one, so then we have the same feeling as on the last boat. So.
Yeah, definitely worth it.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
all right. Thank you very much for the tips.
No worries. Let me know how it goes, and good luck. I look forward to seeing some good results.
Yeah, I hope so, and we also hope to see you back in the Stockholm Archipelago raid some year, when you can travel again.
I was actually. I had my crew. I've been sailing with a really competitive young kid, Lockie White, in Australia, and we've been doing pretty well. And we'd actually started putting the wheels in motion to do a fly-in, fly-out trip, but obviously it all went pear-shaped. So it was like, well, guess that's not happening at all. So maybe next time.
Maybe next year, we'll see. Caroline Brewer seems to be interested in coming to the raid next year, so we hope for that.
Yeah. No, fantastic. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Right.
Enjoy your Friday.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Cheers. No, cheers. It's out.
Bye.